Hey folks, Dude here, coming at you on All Things Wednesday, January 13th. And it's been a while, so I figured it's time to do Knife Blog. And this episode of Knife Blog is going to be, well, obviously I got my wallet here, kind of bereft of funds, but there's a daily carry piece that is always in my wallet. I got a Cordor wallet. I've been carrying this wallet for probably a better part of at least probably 20 years. This thing has shown zero wear. It's been run over by a car after it fell off the roof of my car. Pretty much stuff scattered everywhere. The wallet didn't break. This thing is hell for stout. I've had this thing for frickin' ever. Yeah, it's fat with a lot of stuff. I got a lot of cards and, contact information and insurance type of stuff and what have you. But there's actually something on board that makes it kind of unique. And the reason being is this is one of those things that's almost gotten me bit a couple times by, taking a flight somewhere and the TSA going, oh, okay, dude, what is this? Yeah, it's one of those things that's almost bit me a couple times, by not sticking it in my checked luggage. And it would be Spyderco, the Eduard Bradichansky Spydercard. Now, what's really cool about these guys, it's that kind of an easy deployment. It is very, very sharp. It has been very, very lightly used. It's been carried for frickin' ever. Now, the specs on this guy is, let's go with it, from north to south. Overall length is 6 1/4 inches. Close length is going to be 3 7/16. Blade length is 2 inches and 7/8. Edge length being 1.5 inches. Not too shabby. Now, the kicker is what essentially was these guys is it was intended to be a carry piece. Now, the notable thing about the designer of this knife, Mr. Bradichansky, he was, and I do mean past tense, was an Israeli knife designer, Gunsmith, and he was just starting to get discovery in this country by coming up with some very cool stuff. Now, the notable things about him from the Spyderco side of things, he has 2 knife designs with his namesake. Number 1 is going to be SC01. So I'll read Sierra Charlie 01 for a model number. It was introduced in 1999, which was, of course, unfortunately, the year of his demise. Because he was Israeli, he happened to be in the West Bank, and he was killed by a terrorist action. Now, his other notable thing on the Spyderco things is you'd have to look it up, but the name of the knife is called the Shabaria. Shabaria. So Shabaria. Shabaria. And what that knife is let me look over here. It is going to be model number C59. So I'll read Charlie 59. And it is a folder, but it is a folder of a very unique style of knife. If you look it up, it is also known as the Eduard Bradichansky Shabaria. It's on eBay. It's on the internet. You can look the thing up. It's not that hard. The thing is, it's also kind of cool about that one is it was also introduced in 1999. So both these knives came out in the year of his passing, and he was starting to make a namesake for himself in the knife community, and of course, very prominently with Spyderco. Now, the problem is, these things, when they came out, they were not ridiculously expensive. As a matter of fact, I had a source for these things, and I was selling them for a while for a really good price. I was making money hand over fist. These things now are very, very dear. It came in 2 iterations. You had, of course, the plain edge, nothing crazy there, and there was a 50-50 serrated, which was, pretty much about the same thing as like the standard, kind of a modified, deeper grind of like your standard Spyderco serrated 50-50 blades. In terms of this thing, for what it is, I can always have my wallet, and I always have a knife handy. Execution, it's there, okay? Case in point, if I need a knife quick, case in point, this thing is going to be a hell of a nasty slasher. It is not going to be getting anybody good times with. It's got just enough of a point to make things count. Kind of looks a little bit like a stealth fighter almost, kind of in like cross-section. But it is a lot of edge. It is a lot of nastiness. And if you get into it with somebody, they are not going to be liking the encounter. It is not the easiest thing to employ. The handle design really doesn't lend itself to good execution. It's pretty much a last-ditch effort type of knife. And it's pretty much one of those things where it's there if you need it, but it's not your first choice. Now, closing this thing and sticking it in your wallet, except for the weight. And trust me, I know this wallet well enough. I am so well attuned to this wallet. When I carry this wallet without that knife on board, it is way lighter and it just doesn't feel right. I am so used to having the extra amount of this thing riding on board in my wallet at all times. It's just one of those things. I know my wallet is right when it has that weight. Now, case in point also, because it is a very discontinued, very rare piece now, it has collector status. Let's just take a quick look over here on eBay real fast to see what we find in terms of just doing a casual search for Spyderco Spydercard. Yeah, let's just see what we find here. Okay, there is not that many listings. There's 5 listings currently on eBay. One of them, $269. One of them, $237. One of them, buy it now for $135. One of them, $275. And one of them is an actual ongoing auction. And I'm watching it, but right now the opening bid was $60. And it's going to go nowhere but up. If you can get one of these things for $100, you are doing good. Reason being is, well, they've kind of gotten very scarce, and they've now gotten collector status, and like anything else in the Spyderco universe, they make them for a finite period of time, and that's it. If it comes back as a Spyderco Spider Wallet something or other 2. They do not say, here's a reiteration of the original Spydercard. No, they say it's Spydercard 2, and they rarely do that. Spyderco usually has a bazillion designs. They make it for a while, they stop making it, they come up with the next thing. There is some stuff that is their standard stable of knives. They will constantly make an Endura. They will constantly make a Police. They will constantly make a Matriarch. They will constantly make a Harpy of some iteration. They will constantly make, the clip-it of some minor kind of almost not quite thing. And there's always going to be the dressed up ones that have turquoise or G10 handles, or they're going to have some kind of really exotic wood handles, or they're going to be titanium, or they're going to be some kind of just bizarre creation from some contributor who is a major knife guy. Spyderco will always have something like that coming down the pipe. Now, of that, there is an excess of... They're probably closing in about 160, 170 different models they've made over the years. I mean, I literally could see like different iterations where they're talking about like there's a C variation, there is a CX variation, there's a K variation. I mean, kitchen versus like, other things. There's a S variety for like, these are like the model numbers. And all these things are like kitchen knives, outdoor knives, diving knives, general employment knives, specialty pieces, commemorative things. The World Trade Center actually had one. There's actually a WTC that had steel instead of handles. I mean, there's all kinds of really crazy stuff that Spyderco does to do commemoration pieces, commemoratives, and of course collector status items that just go, stratospheric as soon as they're released. Now, the thing is, there is people who are registered collectors of Spydercos, and there's a huge caveat that is involved with being a collector status to get every single new one first. There usually is a run of 500 of them. Those guys get the first 500. Every one of those knives is serialed. Here's the kicker. If you're a collector for Spyderco, every new knife you have to buy. That's right. Every single new knife you need to purchase to maintain your collector status to have that continuing iteration of being the collector guy of every Spyderco. Now, are you locked in and you have to keep it? No, some of these guys actually say, you know what, not so much into this one. I had to buy it, but it's a collector piece. I have the first 500. I'm serial so-and-so. And that's the other thing, too. If you're a collector number 5, every single knife you get is serial number 5. It is a very unique group of people that have the Spyderco collector status. They're locked in. Now, there's a guy you might want to check out on the Spyderco forums. The guy is known as the Deacon. Literally like, the religious figure. He's known as the Deacon. He is scary Spyderco knowledgeable. The guy has got an unbelievable collection. And I'm not talking like he's got like 1 or 2 of certain models. No, I mean to say he went through every single variation and got that model. There's nobody on planet Earth that probably knows more about Spyderco knives than the Deacon. Look him up on the Spyderco forums. The guy is just unbelievable with his knowledge. He actually knows Sal Glesser, the guy that actually owns Spyderco knives. Cool stuff. I'm going to break up on this one, folks. But remember, if you're looking for something wallet-oriented and you need to have a carry piece, you can do a whole hell of a lot worse than having a Spyderco Spydercard wallet knife in your wallet. Good times, folks. I'm going to break up on this one. You can keep it on ring. As always, you know it, you love it. Spyderco goodness. Yeah, don't worry, folks. I do have a spare. See you guys.